And we're back. Chapter 3. Oaks. You know, I have a feeling that we could have saved Jennifer. If we follow the Seers, maybe the results would have been different. I'm not so sure. But I'm not convinced that the Seers are evil. It just... I don't know if she's dead at all, actually. She might be like at the end and we find her at the end. Then we give her the doll or whatever. The outskirts of the forest seemed so unattainable the night before are much closer. I watched them penetrate the ancient oaks under a dense canopy of twisted branches and knotted roots. The cover of the trees allowed me to approach the group and reduce the risk of finding myself face to face with one of the guardian seers. The Sylvan Seers are not a danger to me. They are too busy with their search for the sun in the morning dew. Once again, Duncan had taken the head of the convoy, but seemed preoccupied. He lets the other overtake and waits for Freya to join him. Did you keep Jennifer's doll? Yes, I don't want to take it, but I don't know why. I just wanted to keep it for myself. Didn't get that feeling? Duncan is taken aback. What feeling? How do I put it? Since I've been on this island, I've been having sort of intuitions. Like a little voice in your head, pushing you to do something you didn't plan to do. Duncan reflects for a few moments. Yes, now you mention it. Do you think it's the Seers? No, I don't think so. You know, after Jennifer disappeared at the Comlec, I saw this strange girl appear. And you weren't there, though. Duncan was there. Duncan was the one who met her. I think it comes from her. Surprised, I was drew into myself for a few moments before joining them. I hadn't thought they would be so perceptive. And I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I sped up to catch them, and pick up the thread of their conversation. Did you have time to get to know Jennifer? Not really. I don't know why the Seers took her. She seems so well equipped to succeed in the trials. I don't really understand either. Freya smiles. Honestly, we have the choice. Now that we're on the island, we're at the will of the Seers. He looks up toward the sky, to the summit, which can be made out behind the overhanging branches. The Seers have taken her. They must have a good reason. Yeah, I don't think they're bad. I'm not convinced yet. Yes, I'm sure you're right. This doll. Think Jennifer had children? Yeah, she's dead. Has to be dead. That's why she doesn't want to talk about it. If she's alive, then she's like, oh, my kid gave it to me. You know, what does the 4 buttons even mean? I don't even know what it means. From an eye, a hand, a person, and antlers. I assume antlers is anything with ears. Person is interacting with people. I think the group. Every time you pick a group decision, it does that person. And I'm not sure about the hand. Maybe it's like, I don't know, on the eye. I really don't know. The game never explains it. We'll find out at the end, probably. It seems more like a memento of a child that she lost. Think you lost a daughter? Maybe a son. I don't know. Boys can play with dolls. I don't really know. Seems more plausible to me. Freya rummages in her bag and takes out the doll. She holds it to Duncan, who takes it, surprised. I talked to Arlen and gave her the doll. We talked quite a bit yesterday, and I think it would please her to have this. Why did you take the doll in the first place? Okay. Freya hastens up to catch up with the head of the line. Duncan stops to wait for Arlen, who has fallen behind. Oh, is that Jennifer's doll? Duncan is a little awkward. Yes, Freya wants me to give it to you. Arlen takes the doll. You know, just several brothers and sisters. I know how important something like this can be to a child. Don't you have a favorite toy when you were little? The two start walking again. Duncan's face hardens. No. My family doesn't tolerate that kind of whim, even in children. Arlen seems astonished. Duncan changes the subject. Did you have a chance to chat with Jennifer yesterday? Yes, well, quite a bit together during the walk. I think she lost her family. A fever struck down her village. That must be why she had a doll with her. A fever? I know Jennifer's village. It's not far from my home. Arlen and Duncan turns to her Brandon, who has come nearer and is listening intently. He traded wisdom. The village of shepherds, the Highlands. About 2 years ago, if I remember right, there was an epidemic. Our burgomaster, what the heck is a burgomaster? Assembled everyone in the marketplace to awareness. Apparently, a plague had carried off virtually all their village. Since then, it's become a ghost village. No one goes up there from my home. If Jennifer had a little girl, dead. That's my thought, exactly. Now I understand. Yes, I think that's what must have happened. Brandon's life doesn't seem to be in pain anymore, and he keeps so stutter much more easily than the day before. You're still behind. I only noticed this. How's your wound? Brandon smiles. See, I'm prancing like a deer. It's thanks to Jennifer that I can continue with you. So sorry the Seers took her. Not dead, though, maybe. The argument at the front of the line interrupts the conversation. There is a cry. Arlen hisses, Eric! He and Duncan exchange looks and hurry to the others. At a sharp bend in the path, which winds between the cairns, Duncan finds a small clearing. Connor is on the ground, shielding his face with his forearms. Eric is bent over him, sword in hand. Hey! Eric turns his attention to Duncan, looking furious. Connor takes advantage to crawl out of reach of the blade and swiftly to his feet. Duncan! Connor points to Eric. He attacked me without reason. Eric is crimson. Without reason? Really? I might be like perception or something. What happened now? This runt who Connor leaps with the chance to talk to Eric. A runt? Me? You see, Duncan, he won't stop insulting me. Eric turns to Duncan. You're so blind, all of you. Don't you see he's a temple spy? He's a traitor. He has no right to tread the grounds of this sacred place. Freya has entered the clearing and approaches Duncan. Everyone is free to attempt the initiation. It is for the Seers to judge he is worthy to receive the flame or not. That is true. That is very true. If the Seers think he is a traitor, they will get rid of him. There's no need for Eric to fight. Eric throws a black look at Freya. Even you've let yourself seduced by this heretic's pretty words. When I think that you almost convinced me you were a true hunter, worthy of the Northern clans, Freya. Oh, shut up. You didn't even listen to her because you were like, women, Eric spits on the ground. You're a bunch of fools. He really believes he's here for the initiation. He doesn't give a damn about our traditions. The temple sent him to destroy our magic, to impose their doctrine of the single god. Connor clears his throat. Listen, Eric, I'm sorry about Jennifer, but without warning, the warrior lets go of their horse and charges him. Connor dodges, bolting out of the way, but trips on the root and falls. Freya seizes her bow. Eric lifts his blade, determined to bring it down on Connor's head. Duncan, without a thought for his own safety, just time to intervene. He deflects the course of the weapon, but the force of impact sends his shield flying. Connor gets up and backs off from the clearing. Arlen, coming up on the commotion, joins him. He refrains from intervening, knowing that she will only add fuel to the flame. Eric's rage has shifted to cold anger. Two men gauge each other. Duncan holds the intimidating gaze of mountain muscle facing him. He knows that if he tries to force the issue, Eric will read the persistence as a challenge. But maybe Eric doesn't really intend to kill Connor? Maybe his and Freya's intervention has been enough to convince Eric to be tolerant? I'm pretty sure he's like crazy and he's gonna try to kill. Screw it. Duncan decides he cannot take the risk of leading Connor to the Northern Warrior's mercy. He's determined to fight. Duncan, get out of my way. Duncan clenches his hand around the hilt of his sword. Two men eye each other. He knows that Eric has taken his decision. No matter what happens, blood will be spilled. Anything else would be a dishonor for him and his clan. Eric lets out a thunderous laugh. So be it. If you really want to lose your life for some scurrying temple louse, it's your choice. Freya, who has drawn her bow, seeing that the situation was changing into single combat, lowers her weapon and waits for the conclusion. Duncan grits his teeth. He knows that his non-adversary's equal, and he cannot turn back. Eric lifts his blade and sweeps at Duncan's right side, trying backhanded strike. Duncan counters the cut with his sword, but the impact is too powerful and slams him into the floor. Eric has an amused smile, lets Duncan get up before striking again. That smug face, sir. This time, Duncan holds his own and retaliates, attacking with the point of his sword. Eric dodges with a sidestep. Two men slash at each other again and again. Eric is not even out of breath, but Duncan is tiring fast. If I don't intervene, the outcome is clear. Eric will kill Duncan, then attack Connor. If Freya interferes, you'll probably suffer the same fate. I must do something to avoid this bloodbath. I'm not gonna make her cheat, I'm gonna help Duncan. You get the hand and the antlers. I have no idea what those are. Is it me, the weird antler lady, that's like getting these? I don't know. Maybe you'll show us like the end of the game, like our decisions and what percentage. I approach the fighters. Duncan is losing ground. He will not hold on much longer. A fierce strike makes him lose his balance. Eric lifts his blade skywards. If it falls, Duncan is finished. There's a moment of wavering. Duncan lowers his eyes, resigned. He knows there is an opening, but he cannot resolve to take Eric's life. Duncan, if I don't do something, he will allow himself to die rather than kill. I have no choice. I cannot allow him this pointless sacrifice. Not now. Without hesitation, I seize Duncan's hand and plunge his sword into Eric's chest. Eric drops his sword, more in surprise than pain. The mountain muscle lurches and falls to one knee. Duncan rolls out of his reach. Two men stare at each other. Eric seems unable to accept what is happening. Blood gushes from his chest. He lifts his eyes to the sky, searching perhaps for a sign from the Seers. Then he collapses in the grass of the clearing. Well, Eric is dead. That's kind of surprising. I wasn't expecting him to like die right away. I was thinking he's like he'll back off or something after intervening. I didn't expect to like stab him. Anna steps over carefully. Honor trails behind her. Duncan sits, his eyes blank, his face haggard. He has a cut to his shoulder. Behind him, his body is motionless. Alan suppresses a shudder. On one hand, perfectly understood how the situation could have escalated. She is accustomed to bullying as a stranger's daughter in a small fishing village. More than once, she has dreamt of answering the insults, condescending stares, and other injustices. She always resisted, fear of the repercussions her brothers and sisters would suffer. She crouches at Eric's side. He's motionless, no breath, no pulse. He died pretty fast for a warrior, like. He left himself open, huh? I don't know, whatever. I can do nothing for him. It was meant to be. He turns to Duncan to see if he needs aids. He wishes that Jennifer was here. He had a gash on his shoulder and doesn't look deep. Connor finally speaks. I'm sorry. It was inevitable? I wonder what happened. Arlen turns to Connor, her face annoyed. But what just exactly happened? We let you out of sight for 2 minutes and Arlen lets out a long sigh. Eric and I were at the front line. I didn't realize we were leaving you behind. Started picking a quarrel when I've done nothing to him. Really? You sure you did nothing to provoke him? Of course I didn't. I'm not stupid. I know how fast things could have gotten out of hand last night. Duncan rises difficulty. Muscles must be sore after the fight with Eric. Fine, so be it. That said, I think it's about time you explain what you're doing here. What I'm doing here? I came to do my magic initiation, just like all of you. His intentions don't matter, Duncan. It's the Seers who will judge. Duncan lifts an eyebrow, astonished. We don't want to know why a guy who doesn't even revere the same gods as we do risks his life to become a shaman? Yeah, Connor. Let's let you defend yourself. Why are you here? I'm curious. Arlen decides to let Connor stand for me. Freya replies, "Of course I'm curious, but his motives are his alone." Duncan is about to retort, but Connor cuts him off. "You're right. You are entitled to an explanation, especially after..." Connor glances toward Eric's body. "Especially after what just happened. I'll be frank with you. Yes, the temple did send me to spy on what happens on this island." Duncan's opened his mouth, but Connor hushed the wave of his hand. "But if I'm part of the expedition today, it's because they won't shed a single tear if by any chance I don't come back. I'm a street child. If the temple had taken me in, like many other orphans, I'd have turned out no good. Or perhaps I'd have ended up getting myself killed by some other beggar, or by a hard winter. Got to know me a little by now. You must have realized I'm not cut out to be a priest, and even less to be a temple guard. That's why they needed someone to send to this island." "They chose you?" "Right. Because they don't know what else to do with me." "Okay. Let's imagine you pass initiation. What will you do with the knowledge and gifts you have received?" Connor takes a deep breath. "Honestly, I don't know. But if I understood correctly, the Seers will only let me take this sacred flame if I am worthy." "Exactly. In that case, I suppose if you are worthy in the eyes of the Seers, it's because I'm not going to betray them. And on the contrary, if I'm not worthy, I won't be able to complete the ascent. Am I right?" "It seems logical. So you have nothing to fear." You know, I kind of like Connor now. Yeah. Connor is an okay guy. At first, I'm like, I don't really like this Connor guy. He's a little weird. He doesn't talk. And now, what he says kind of makes sense, you know. Well, whether we like it or not, Connor is part of the expedition. And stop squabbling over who deserves to be here. I think most we should take care of Eric, don't you think? Yes, we must respect the rights. He died in combat. The least we can do is honor his memory. We should build him a funeral pyre. That'll take us forever. Can we bury him instead? Are you crazy? No. That's not the custom. How do you plan to dig a grave? We don't have the tools. Look! A procession of small beings have entered the clearing. They are accompanied by a great heart with a pure white pelt. They look in my direction, but don't seem to want to challenge me, at least for the moment. They surround Eric's body and kneel with deep reverence. Arlen takes a step forward, about to speak to them. Freya catches his arm and tells her to look to stay back. The Seers have loaded the body into the back of the heart and are about to slip away between the trees. I could use Arlen to call them to account, or at least to demand an explanation, but that could put us, she and I, in danger. I'm not sure the risk is worth taking. No, I don't want Arlen to die. Probably fine. The Seers are okay. I still believe that they're safe, they're good, they're on our side, they just... We cannot understand what the Seers are doing, that's it. The group doesn't move as the procession leaves this clearing. Eric's body with him. Soon, they're swallowed up by the vegetation. The group finds itself alone again in the forest. It's Brandon who breaks the silence. I give up. What? They turn to look at him in shock. What do you mean, give up? I'm going back to the beach to repair the boat. Oh, come on. We had to take a boat. Brandon should continue. I almost puts a hand on Brandon's shoulder. You should continue with us. Brandon sighs. No, I'm sorry. I've taken my decision. I almost turned back already after Jennifer, but this time it's too much for me. Suck it up and just do it. Will you manage to find your way back to the beach? Yes, I think so. That's what, a day and a half? 2 days walk, maximum? Follow the mega list the other way. I should manage. We'll give you provisions for the way back. We'll share the remaining supplies with Brandon. There's enough left for this evening, but we'll need to hunt tomorrow. Arlen smiles. Or fish? There must be streams. I bet I could catch salmon or trout. Brandon bursts out laughing. Ha ha ha. Well, at least you have what you need to get meat or fish. Think of me when you're tucking in. I still have to get by for 2 more days on dried bread and fruit. What will you cope when you taken? What you've taken run out? Oh, don't worry. I know how to fish too. I'll wait for you as long as you can on the beach. The boat will be fit to take you back to the mainland if you come back. No, Brandon's pretty cool too. He seemed chill. I certainly plan to come back. Arlen, Freya, and Duncan agree. The only one I don't like is Eric and Duncan. Those two are kind of, I don't know. Eric is, he's just a meathead, and Duncan, I don't understand him. He seems like he seems, I don't know. Just he's odd. Well, the day is already well underway. If I want to reach the beach by tomorrow evening, I mustn't dawdle. Duncan holds out his hand to Brandon, who grips it. Be careful. Well, he seems okay. I don't know. Duncan still confuses me a little bit. I'm still not sure about him. 100%. Overwhelmed with emotion, she wraps Brandon in her arms and hugs him tight. He really doesn't like partings. Hey, gently. I'm already a war wound on the calf. There's no need to break me a rib too. Arlen giggles and dries her tear. Don't wait too long for us, okay? If we're not back in a week, you said so. Promise? Brandon nods. So there's nothing more for me to do except to wish you good luck. You be careful too. I'm starting to like Arlen. He's probably my favorite character. He's the most normal of the group. Freya's like, oh, Seers. Eric is all like, Seers bad. And Jennifer is gone, so we can't depend on her. And Duncan don't understand. Connor's cool too. Okay, Connor and Arlen is probably my favorite. The 4 main member expedition watch him disappear between the trees. They stay a while in the clearing, waiting in tactic agreement in case Brandon changes his mind and returns. Then they continue their journey. Duncan goes to the head of the line as usual. Freya follows close behind. Walking a little again is painful with her tired muscles, but she lives with it. Why is she tired? She didn't fight. Like, what the hell? Little by little, one step after another, she falls into rhythm and lets her mind wander. She recalls the fight between Duncan and Eric. Something bothered her, but she can't put her finger on it. She hurries up to catch his Duncan. Duncan? He also seems deep in thought. Yes? There's something I don't understand. Can I talk to you for a minute? Yes, of course. What is it? When you fought with Eric, and you was at the point of dealing with the final blow. Yes, I really thought I was going to die. Freya frowns. Exactly. You lower your weapon as if, how should I put it, as if you were giving up the fight. Duncan looked disturbed. I don't know. I had a feeling that something, or someone, guided your hand to deliver the fatal blow to Eric. Don't intervene. Duncan takes a moment to think. Yes, that's it, exactly. I was ready to die. You'll think I'm a coward, but I didn't want to take Eric's life. When he knocked me down, I gave up. And then, just when Eric was about to finish me, it is as though someone took my hand and thrust my sword into Eric's chest. They take a few steps in silence. Freya looks deep in thought. As though she was assembling various pieces of information to make a whole. Suddenly, she turns to Duncan, startling him. Have you ever had this feeling of this little voice in your head? What do you mean? As if someone is telling you what to do or what to say. That's me. That's actually what I'm doing. Like, meta storytelling. Freya looks away. Forget what I just said. It's silly. No. Now that you mention it, yes, I have that feeling too. Since we set foot on this island. Do you think it's that this little voice, like you say, which pushed me to kill Eric? Who else? I don't believe it comes from the Seers. No, me neither. When they came to take Eric's body, do you think they seemed annoyed by what had happened? Duncan considers. Yes, with those masks, it's hard to tell what they think. But yes, that's how it seems to me. Do you think it would be the girl that I saw the night of the cromlech? Let's say that's my intuition. But in that case, what did she have against Eric? I don't know. Freya is silent. Less what? Unless she had nothing in particular against Eric, but it was you she wanted to keep alive. That's a possibility. But why want me to survive rather than Eric? Freya shrugs. No idea. I wanted him alive because Eric is a liability. They continue on the way in silence, slope towards the foothills of the mountains rising. The forest is becoming denser. Thickets of bramble hem the path. Night begins to fall. Duncan turns to Freya. If you see a place to stop, let me know. It's getting late. I think I saw a clearing a bit higher up in the trees. Duncan checks that Arlen and Connor are still close behind before hurrying onward. Further on, the forest opens on a small clearing, bordered on the southeast quarter by a set of standing stones. In the center, there's the remains of an old campfire. This looks ideal. Absolutely. And this time, it won't be short of wood. Duncan and Freya silently build a fire, while Arlen divides up 4 portions of what's left of their food. Is that all that's left? Yes, tomorrow we'll have to find food. We need to keep some ration for when we reach the uplands. I think they were planning on hunting while we were in the forest, but there will probably be fewer food sources as we get closer to the summit. Arlen agrees and makes the portion smaller. Grouping eats in silence for each of them settles for the night. Not playing your flute this evening, Arlen? Let's play the flute. You like? Arlen takes out her instrument and plays a wistful lament. I like the melancholic sound of her flute. She finishes the tune. Freya has already fallen into a deep sleep. She lies down, close to the fire. While all the group has succumbed to the fatigue of the road, I wander into the forest to pass the time until morning. The interlacing branches of brambles are claustrophobic. I need air. They're too far now for me to return to the beach. I keep uphill toward the summit. When I reach the edge of the forest, between the oaks and the pines, I'm seized by a compelling call. The forest vanishes, giving way to a misty, snow-covered plain. I'm someone's dream. Duncan? I have not dreamed for an age. Not since I became a prisoner of this in-between. A multitude of forgotten sensations overwhelm my senses. My breath makes wisps of vapor in the cold of this winter morning. The wind in my hair. In the distance, surrounded by fog, there is a figure which breaks away like a dark mass in this white-gray environment. I move closer. Duncan crouches in front of a thicket, cries frightened yelps, turns his head and smiles at me. Rowan? Look, the wolf cub. Points to the base of the bush. A very young wolf is tangled in the branches. I think he's hurt. How do you know my name? Duncan laughed. What's so funny? Of course I know your name, Rowan. I came to save you on the island of the Seers. Duncan turns his attention back to Wolf Cub. Seeing him like this, relaxed, smiling, it's almost as if he were another person. What the hell? It's a trap. It's a trap. Stay back. Duncan continues calling the wolf cub. He finally creeps out of his thicket, limping one front paw. Duncan strokes it and takes it in. Turns to me. Everything changes. We are in the forest, the clearing. Duncan is on his knees before Eric's body. I don't see his face, but he seems to be crying. I feel the weight of his guilt. He did not want to kill Eric. I know I could not let you die. It was inevitable. It was inevitable. Eric would not have passed the trials. Duncan looked at me with surprise, as if the stark recess of his soul, he no longer knew me. Seers entered the clearing and approached Eric's body to take it away with them. Unconcerned by our presence, they performed the rites. Watched them leave. I realized that Duncan has taken my hand in his. Suddenly, one of the Seers turns towards us. Duncan cries out in surprise and dread. I am driven out of his dreams into this body's solitude of the in-between world, my prison. The sun rises over the You know, it's only three chapters, and 3 people of our group is gone. It's only 4 of us now. Kind of surprising. There's like 7 chapters, and barely halfway through, we already lost everyone. When I arrive at the evac, oh god, the group is already up and about. The mood is glum. After all that has happened, it's natural that their morale is not high. Alan scatters the last embers in the fireplace while the others gather their belongings. They all set off again. Therefore, oh, everyone's wearing seer masks. Cool. Underworld. If this is a loading screen, that means 3 people has to disappear. Yeah, I did nothing wrong. Slopes get steeper as they advance. Leafy underbrush of intermingled oaks, birch, and beech trees appear little by little. After a while, they realize that they are now surrounded by conifers. The path is half hidden beneath the carpet of brown needles. They continue in silence. Freya is at the head of the line, at ease in this familiar environment. The standing stone which mark the roofs are smaller now, forcing her to stop at each to seek out the next one. Duncan comes from the back. He tries to put out a brave face, but the exchange of blows Eric the day before has earned him his share of bruises and strains. Freya turns back regularly to be sure that the rest of the group is not falling behind. When the sun is almost at its zenith, they arrive on a natural plateau. Freya stops to admire the landscape. Here, the view is less obstructed, but the forest seems to stretch endlessly in every direction. Listening carefully, she can hear the crystalline tinkling of a mountain stream. The others have caught up. Connor sits and stretches his tired legs. Alright? It's a bit lacking in paved roads and some taverns wouldn't go amiss. At least we're seeing the world. One more push, just a bit further. I think there's water source. Duncan points. That way? Yes, why? If I stop now, I'm not sure I'll be able to get going again. I'll go in front of you if you want to stop for a few minutes to catch your breath. Connor gets up. Duncan's right. If I sit down for too long, I'm gonna doze off. We continue their walk, reinvigorated by the sound of running water getting closer and closer. Ooh. Hey. Freya guides them, and crossing a boulder field, they discover a shallow stream. There's a waterfall further upstream. There must be a natural pool carved out under the fall. It'll be ideal for us to freshen up and fill our flasks. I don't know, it looks like a stream in their interest. It looks like there's some fish. I'm more used to sea fishing with a net. I could try to catch us a meal. I've got hook and line in my bag. Good idea. I'll go hunt while you do that. There's a chance I could raise a hare or a partridge, maybe even a deer. Duncan lowers his head unhappily. He would like to be useful, but his wounds are troubling him. Duncan stays with Connor, hunt, don't get involved, or... I don't think he can hunt. Well, he has to do something. Join Connor, whatever his Connor is doing. I'm gonna stay with... Duncan stops, discomposed. He takes a deep breath, then resumes. That goes to you, Freya? Really? I thought you were going with Connor. Freya stares at him distantly, fridging all over her face. Starling answers him. Look, Duncan, you've been struggling to walk this morning. You better have enough. You better to save your strength. Duncan looks in my direction. For a moment, I sense that he sees. Yes, you're probably right. If you want to make yourself useful, you can build a fire with Connor. That way we can cook our catch as soon as we get back. Duncan nods. Be careful, and don't get too far away. Don't worry. Myself, I'm just going to go downriver a bit to find a calm spot. Connor and Duncan pick up the belongings and head towards the waterfall. Freya goes to the stream and crouches to fill her flask. Arlen does the same, smiles at her, and sets off, studying the river as she walks downstream. He sees plenty of fish, gliding below the surface, probably trout or salmon. The current is too strong for her to let down her line, and she needs to find a branch to make a rod. But with the conifers which border the shores of the stream, it may be more difficult than she had thought. She would like to have found more reeds, but they don't seem to grow so far inland. Arlen is considering this quandary when she hears a cry of cormorant. What's a cormorant? Above her head. A cormorant? So far inland? Duck? She shades her eyes with her hand and searches for the bird. For an instant, she's dazzled by the light. The sound of waves comes to her ears before her eyes had adjusted. The forest had given way to a thick fog. Under her feet, sand. In her nostrils, the salty smell of sea spray. On her left, she make out the rocky promontory which juts out to the sea. She knows this cove. If she goes up the little pass to the east, she'll come across a small house that shelters her family. A shiver goes through Arlen. The weather is certainly not that of springtime he had left a few moments earlier. Arlen follows the pass up the cliffside and comes to a barren heath, sprinkled with heather. A little further towards the sea, she makes out the shapes of the house. As she gets close, she notices a sluggish smoke escape the chimney. The house is dilapidated, almost in ruins. Even if it has never been in perfect condition, it has always somehow more or less habitable. As she crosses her threshold, the single small room is plunged into gloom. None of her many brothers and sisters are there to brighten the home with a laugh or squabble. The silence is complete. As her eyes adjust to the darkness, Arlen distinguishes the presence. A man sits on the bed, holding his head in his hand. He's bent forward, and his long, stringy hair covers his face. Huh? The man raises his head and looks at Arlen with a dullness tinged with anger. Arlen? They told me in the village that you wouldn't come back. Where are the children? A reckless pain crosses Vanek's face. I know it has been easy for you. Since Gwenfire's sickness. Man lets a long sigh, reluctant to continue. He really speaks to Arlen's mother. Her loss has been so painful. What has happened? Tell me. When you didn't return with the boat, the Guild of Fishers, they separated your brother and sister, sent them on the boats so that they would earn their room on board. Arlen is suddenly seized by a terrible terror. But they're too young to work on the boats. They promised me they would take care of them no matter what the outcome of the trials. How could you have believed them? You know you held Olga dear, but did you really believe that you could take her place? And anyways, you have never had a talent for being a healer. What did you want me to do? And then always protected us. It doesn't matter to her that we were children of an outsider. Arlen pauses, reluctant to continue. Then adds in a low voice. You did so much for our family than you ever did. Oh my god, Arlen. How could you say that? It's not my fault that we fell in love. Gwennifer and I. It's not my fault that the Villagers never accepted me. It's not my fault that those idiots rejected her when we now started a union. Of course, if she had married old Howell's son, it would have been easier for everyone. But we can't change the past. And you could have waited. I got back just after you left. Look. Man gestured at the table on the other side of the room with the back of his hand. A meager purse is on the table. A few miserable coppers and silver spilling from it. Can't really blame him. Arlen looks at his father with deep contempt. He sees tiny leather bags empty on the table. Do you believe that these few coins would have changed anything? If his mother died, you're never here. And if you came back just after I left, why didn't you stay and take care of your children? Is your family as unbearable to you as that? But no, Arlen, that's not. Of course, it's easier to tour the country with your citron slung on your back rather than to face real problems. But I don't have a choice. Ministering is the only job I know. I can't turn myself into a fisher, a carpenter, or an I don't know what. I bring you all the money I've earned every time I come back. Oh, I know it's not wealth or luxury. Wealth and luxury? Children were starving. So I accepted when they offered me a way of making sure that my brother and sister could live free from what I want. Man bursts into sobs. Arlen feels bad for him. Can't really be mad at him. Like he's a huge mess, but whatever. This illness carried off her mother, yet become a shadow of his former self. He repeats, I'm sorry, holding his head in his hands. She decides to leave him there. If the Seers think they will break her by showing her this, they are wrong. Arlen softly leaves the little house, closes the door, returns back down the cliffside path, without a single glance behind her. The path to the village is deserted. It's always after storm season, which marks the end of winter and the return of spring. Night has almost fallen when she reaches the main street. The sea air blows an icy salt wind which has dispersed the fog and brought a fine drizzle. She crosses the marketplace, where the only two-story house which dwarfs the crooked hovels that surround it. Taps at the door, and getting no answer, knocks harder. A sickly-looking middle-aged man finally answers. Who dares disturb me at this time? When his eyes fall on Arlen, the irritation, the consternation give way to a toothy grin. His gold tooth gleams in the light of the blaze, burning in the large chimney. Arlen Venictator, what a nice surprise. We didn't expect to see you again. Arlen tries not to flinch and holds the intimidating gaze of the old fisherman. Behind her, a curious crowd had gathered. With a distracted ear, she hears the half-whispered remarks of the villager. She ignores them, as she usually does. Here she always has been the outsider's daughter, the one who is pointed at and carefully avoided. Where are my brothers and sisters? For the first time, the old man looks away. Behind her, two red-headed muscle giants jostle through the crowd. Is there a problem, Mr. Howell? Do you want us to escort the jester daughter of the village? No, let her say what she has to say. Howell turns his attention to Arlen. Arwood is in one of my boats. She left for the high seas last week. She'll be back for Belfane. Conway took one of your brothers, the one with the ugly scar on his forehead. I regret to tell you that he was carried off by a groundswell a little after Imbolc, the sea captain. Arlen feels something break in her chest. And the others? Howell fixes the young woman with a piercing stare as he were bargaining for a basket of salmon. We had a deal. You were supposed to replace old Enid. The village is still without a healer. When the winter came, Arlen has the urge to retch. We didn't only lose your brothers and sisters. Alfred's son died too. Excuse me? But Alfred's son was a newborn. Sophia was weaned over 3 years ago, and she was the youngest of my sisters. You only have yourself to blame. If you had returned before Mabon, as is the custom, you could have healed your family. Arlen spits in his face. The henchmen seize her, each one taking her by an arm. I kind of want to see what happens. Take action. I have to act. Arlen looks at me. She sees me. I take a step forward, but she stops immediately. There's light of understanding in her face. She's probably realizing where she is and what is happening. No, let me do it. This is my trial. Great silence falls on the village. Then a murmur goes through the crowd, gathering the masses for her. Suddenly, someone cries, "Witch!" Other voice takes up, "Burn her! She speaks to the dead." Old Howell tries to speak out, clearing his throat and waving his hand to quiet them, but no effect. The crowd is hysterical. Someone shouts, "She's not a healer. She has succumbed to necromancy." Master's two lackeys try to protect Arlen as best as she can, but the villagers have transformed into savage beasts. A woman grabs her by the collar. A man pulls the other way of her leather surcoat. Cora finally gives, knocking Arlen's breath out of her. She's not afraid. On the contrary, so much hate and stupidity only strokes her anger. She lets out a cry, pushes the aggressor with all her force. Then a crash in the master's house when flames swallowed up the old man, spreading rapidly across the oaken floor and upstairs. A charred, blistered Howell crawls out of the house in front of the august villagers. A last rattle comes from his throat before he collapses face down in the mud. Damn, she became a witch. Chaos prevails. Patrons in the washerwomen scramble haphazardly. Some have fallen to their knees, clutching their heads in their hands. The thatched roof of the neighboring house is consumed by great flame. To the other side, thick smoke vomits out the door and windows of the weaver's house. Arlen turns towards me. It's time to return to the island. Suddenly, we are in a cavern. There's a sulphurous odor and a sharp, clear, clean air of the cave. Arlen's eyes do not leave me. You can see me? Yes. You've been following us since the beach, right? I nod my head. Arlen looks grim. Freya, Duncan, Connor, are they in danger too? I realize what the others must also be going through their trials. Yes, I have to help them. I'm coming with you. No, there'll be no help to them. Wait for me on the other side, at the way out of the cave. I turn on my heels and run towards the entrance of the cave. Aren't trials meant for the person? We're not supposed to help people in a trial. If they are worthy, they will be able to overcome it. Like what Arlen just did. I didn't need to interrupt them. Why am I helping them? I'm not too late for the others. As I get closer to the way out, I feel my tethers in the world of the men slipping away from me again. As I race between the pines, I know I'm once more invisible. I stride through the forest, hoping to find trace of Freya without success. Her fate is already sealed. I have to return to the camp. If I delay too long, it'll be too late for Duncan and Connor. I cross the wood as fast as I can. When I reach the waterfall, I'm relieved to find Duncan and Connor. Connor is stirring the campfire with a stick and looking distracted, while Duncan is getting dressed. He must wash in the pool at the foot of the waterfall while I was away. Damn, that's a muscular body. A sense of worry hovers around them. Duncan scrutinizes the forest, probably hoping to find signs of Arlen or Freya. Connor turns to him. Still nothing? No. It's been a long time. We're gonna go and look for them. Do you think you're a really good idea to split up? I want to warn them. I tried to penetrate Duncan's mind and Connor's, without success. Duncan lowers his eyes. I can't do nothing here. In that case, let me come with you. No. One of us should wait here, in case. Don't worry, I'll be careful. Connor gives a small, wry smile, as if he knows what is coming. Duncan's hurried off between. I decided to follow him, rather than stay with Connor. My connection with Duncan is too strong for me to. Mists have risen. It seems to be thickening as he hastens between. Duncan hesitates. If he wanders too deep to the forest, search for Freya, he may not find his way back to camp. You know that he has neither the sense of direction nor her talent for tracking. On the other hand, he thinks to himself that Arlen has only theoretically to follow the river to find her way back to the camp. He decides to continue, following as well as he can the marks left for Freya. By Freya. The trail rapidly becomes erratic. Footprints in the soft soil gives contradictory direction before disappearing completely. He's about to turn back when he reaches a path that seems strangely familiar. What can this be? He moves forward, his heart thumping, first moving quickly, then flagging at a slower pace. The sun is hidden. The ray of light no longer pierces the branches which obscure the light sky. As he approaches the edge, the forest has thinned, the pines and spruce placed by the beeches and hornbeams of his home. A fine layer of snow covers the ground. You have to go through all four of them? At least there's like backstory, but I kind of wanted to know more about Eric. Why is he so like thing? But they killed him off like right away. Fine layer of snow covers the ground. An icy cold seizes Duncan, piercing him to the bone. Far away, at the forest edge, just before the incline which leads to the castle, a hooded silhouette faces him. A long walking stick that he holds in his left hand, crooked and deformed by its many knots, is instantly recognizable. However, there's something strange and different about the old man's posture. Uncle Leith? His cheeks are hollow by hunger, and his eyes are feverish. This is not the laughing, reassuring, confident Burley despite his vulnerable age that he had left a few days earlier to come to the island. He regards Duncan with haggard eyes. Duncan? You come too late. Much too late. Your father waited for you until... Look at us. Then he lost his patience. What happened? There were skirmishes with the clan of the deer during the summer. They surprised me as I was gathering herbs. They took me hostage. Lasted a long time. Least grimaces of pain. The specter of death can be glimpsed in his eyes. And your father was no one to hold back his demons. Least is quiet. You men know where there's no need to say more. I haven't failed. I haven't failed. But I haven't failed. All of that hasn't happened. I passed all the tests. I'm on my way to the summit. Not failed? Not failed? Truly? 6 moons have passed since you left. Look around you. Winter has returned. No, that hasn't happened yet. I'm going to succeed. I'll be there to help plan if this disaster does happen. Leaf looks at Duncan with haunted eyes, as if he didn't understand what he has said. What exactly happened, Uncle Leaf? There was a council of the clans at Litha. Your father demanded a reckoning of old Harold, the chief of the Deer clan, for the farm that it was pillaged in the spring. I'd warned him not to attack head-on, but Harold would deny the facts. All the more because we had no proof to lay blame. Things soon got heated. But that happens at every council. Still, the clans always manage to come to an agreement. Not this time. The Lake clans rallied around Harold. It was a skillfully set trap. Your father, in a burst of rage, buries his axe in old Harold's skull. His son, a young mad dog, thinks only of avenging him. I should have been there. I could have done something. I don't believe you could have done anything. There were scuffles all summer. Your brother Olaf was wounded in an attack while he was hunting near the lake. They took me, and I went to find herbs to save him. In the fall, the fighting intensified. Your father attacked the fort of the Deer clan and took it. But as usual, he didn't consider the price he'd had to pay. The harvests, which were already poor, as the stars had predicted, were destroyed by the clashes. There was famine. Our clan was starving. Sickness carried off your elder brother, Gunnar's last month. Your father's favorite, Bjornsson, was killed during the siege. You are the only one left. You are the last heir. It's not my fault. I should have been there. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. These look at Duncan with skepticism. The Seers of the island. Time has stretched. They used their magic to torment me. These doesn't seem to understand what Duncan has said. In any case, I didn't think you could have done much to avoid the disaster. Lee suddenly looks weary. As the full force of the weight of the years had hit him, his voice is receding, becoming remote. Go, your father is waiting for you. Lee's image disintegrates into wisps of blue, which rise skywards before Duncan can answer. The ghost. Duncan follows the path which winds down towards the castle. The snow had begun to fall in a great feathery flake. He's chilled to the bone by incessant cold. Far away, he hears the howling of wolves. He crosses the war-ravaged village. Not a living soul. Most of the cottage had been ravaged by flames. In the courtyard, the cadaver of scorning horse has been abandoned and rots beneath the porch. The song of the wolves is closer now. The castle in ruins, where remains of the Great Hall is a plunging gloom. Disorder rules. The great hearts is extinguished despite the glacial cold. Hoarse shout sounds towards the room. Duncan squints. There's someone slumped in the master's place, on the platform which holds the table of honor at the end of the room. Father? The huge man rises, comes around the table and approaches Duncan, but the man doesn't seem to recognize Duncan. Vacant eyes are stripped of emotion. Grasp the axe. Duncan's not a fighter, right? Father, meet Duncan. He approaches Duncan under the dismayed gaze of his son, lifts his axe, and strikes with all his strength. Duncan barely has time to dodge and falls to the ground. Man gives a hollow laugh, his crazed eyes staring vacantly. Then he advances, relentless, the iron of his axe glowing in the dim room. Duncan gets up and reluctantly draws his sword. The wolves have entered the room and form a circle around the two combatants. Duncan knows that if he wants to survive this trial, he has no choice. It can only end with the death of one of the fighters. He knows that his father is stronger, tougher, more experienced in handling weapons. The longer the confrontation lasts, the more the balance will fall against the younger man. He has to take a decision. He has to take it now. If he surrenders, he fails the trial for sure. I'm gonna attack. Duncan takes a deep breath and throws himself at his adversary, slashing to break through his guard. You will not be the target of taunts and scorn of his family. All he wanted to do was to honor them, his father, his brothers, his clan. All that he wanted was that they let him find his place. As a child, he passed his time in his uncle's library, seeking a moment of respite, far from the unbearable expectations of his father. As he recalls the flames that consumed his favorite book, he finds its unsuspected strength. The howling of the wolf resounds in the ears like a war song, galvanizing him. He launches himself at the man who was only a shadow of his father, his shield shattered against the force of his impact, but this doesn't abate the anger that fills him. On the contrary, he's conscious of it much later. He's strangely calm despite the blood that flows on his hand down his chin. When he looks around himself, the castle's gone. He's in the cavern. His eyes rest on me. He sees me. Knows me. Rowan? There's noise near the entry of the cave. One of the Seers come into the light. He moves towards us that decided tread. Second step. And a third. I'm terrified. Duncan tries to come between us. Hey, what do you want with us? Only listening to my instinct, I take advantage of the diversion and take my heels. I bury myself in the depths of the earth, between rock and root where shadows ring. When the silence of obscurity finally swallows me, the void changes to night. Really? That's it? I don't hear the other two stories?